Hello, my Nyctophilliacs. Tonight's story is about a curse that lasts over 200 years, and the family that lives with it. So sit back, close your eyes, and enjoy the comforts of the dark. It's Thanksgiving 2019 in a family home in Alexandria, Virginia. In attendance is the patriarch, Wilbur Seldon, age 97, his grandson Michael Seldon and his wife Julie, their sons Joshua and his wife Sarah, and James and his pregnant wife Izzy. And the children are Josh's sons Jacob, Jax, and daughter Olivia, along with James's daughters Lindsay and Emma. Jacob has just celebrated his 13th birthday, and Lindsay has recently turned 6. Wilbur is sitting at the head of the dining room table watching all of the activity in the kitchen and the living room. From his vantage point, he can see everything thanks to an open floor plan. Michael, Josh, and James are watching a football game, and Emma and Olivia are playing dolls on the living room floor. Jax is slouched in a chair at the table playing on his tablet. Jacob is doing whatever he can to help the women lift and carry things, all the while tripping over his personal shadow, Lindsay. Lindsay has always been enamored with her older cousin. At halftime, Wilbur calls the men to the table and says, "It's time to tell Jacob." Michael tells Jax to take Lindsay into the living room and to keep an eye on the girls for him. Then Josh calls his older son over and asks him to sit down. The 3 men sit at the table with Jacob and Wilbur. Wilbur begins to tell Jacob the story of the Seldon family. In 1819, our ancestor Ezra Seldon was trying to feed his family, but it was hard due to the depression that was plaguing our country at the time. He was looking for game to feed the family for Thanksgiving and was not having any luck. He happened across a farm with a large flock of poultry, including chickens, duck, geese, and turkeys. A large tom was at the far edge of the barnyard nearest to the forest where Ezra was walking through, so he thought that he would take this bird for his family. He aimed and shot the turkey in the head, killing it instantly. As he emerged from the tree line, a woman came out of the cabin and was somehow standing next to the bird before he even realized it. She asked him what he was doing killing her animal, and he stammered and hemmed and hawed before coming out and saying that he was trying to get food for his family. The woman asked him if stealing was his intention. He said no, not in the beginning, but he could not find any game in the area. The woman then seemed to shimmer before his eyes, and she said, "I will give you a choice, Ezra Seldon. You can die here and now for your crimes, or you may take the bird, and you and your family will give thanks to me every year from here on. Every year as your wife places the turkey on that Delft platter of yours, you will give thanks to me for the food. And when your oldest son reaches the age of 13, he will be told of this pact, and so on through each generation. Take care, Ezra Seldon, for I like that pattern, and I always want you to use that platter. Your wife chose wisely when she picked it, and if this is not done as I have stated, your bloodline will die out in 1 generation. What is your answer?" Ezra said that he would thank her every year for her generosity and that he was very sorry for his pilfery. He walked slowly home with his ill-gotten gains, wondering what he had done to his family. That is why every year on Thanksgiving Day we thank Eula Theckling during grace. Wilbur stopped speaking to let the words sink into Jacob's head.
Grandpa, you're kidding, right? If you are, you need new jokes.
He looked around the table and saw that all of the faces were somber.
Wait, Grandpa, I don't get it. How can this be real?
Wilbur told him if you go down to the basement and get the platter out of the old trunk on the shelf near the furnace and bring it up, you will see. As Jacob got up and walked to the basement stairs, he looked over his shoulder, and his father nodded his head in encouragement. As he was getting the platter out of the trunk where it was stored, He had the same vision as all of the other 13-year-old men in the direct bloodline of Ezra Seldon. As this was happening, Lindsay came bouncing down the stairs.
What you doing, Jakey?
Nothing, just go back upstairs, Lindsay. I got it, you little menace.
He continued what he was doing.
I want to help.
No, Lindsay, go back upstairs.
Jacob closed the trunk and started towards the stairs when Lindsay grabbed for the platter.
I want to help, Jakey.
No, I got it.
The kids started a tug of war with the platter.
Give me, Jakey. I'm gonna help.
Careful, Lindsay, you're gonna make me drop it.
I will not.
Lindsay grabbed the platter from Jacob with more force than she had intended, and as if in slow motion, the platter slipped from her grasp and shattered on the floor.
I didn't do it.
Simultaneously, there was a large thump on the floor above them. Both children ran up the stairs to tell the adults what had happened and found them gathered where Wilbur had been sitting. He was on the floor, not moving, and Izzy was clutching her belly. The next hour was a crazy mix of activity, with the ambulance, police, and coroner being there. Dinner, having finished cooking, was set on the counter, growing cold as the adults discussed what to do next. Michael said if they could find Eula's family, maybe one of them could remove the curse. Joshua found the family name on his phone. The address was only a few-hour drive into the backwoods of Virginia. Michael told Josh that it would be a miracle if the living fecklings would have any idea of the curse or how to lift it.
I have to try, Pops. We have to put an end to this damn curse. I don't know what is going to happen now that the platter has been smashed to bits.
Michael agreed, but had to stay and speak with the coroner and the police, as he was the next of kin to Wilbur. Jacob told his father and grandfather that he was going with, because it was his fault.
Jakey, it's not your fault. It was an accident.
Dad, if I held on better, Lindsay wouldn't have dropped the plate.
Jakey, I know you were being careful. No one blames you for the platter.
I blame myself, Dad. What if breaking that plate killed Great-Grandpa and made Aunt Izzy sick?
Jacob, pregnant women sometimes have problems when they have a big shock, and it is just a coincidence that Grandpa passed away today.
Not today, Dad. At the same time it broke. I heard him hit the floor. It was at the same time.
Okay, Jake. Okay. You can come with me if it will make you feel better, buddy.
It will, Dad.
Julie and Sarah were in the living room, with the other kids sleeping on the couches, and Jax, still on his tablet, sat on the floor near his mom. Josh told them he was taking Jacob with him to find Eula's family and put an end to this whole mess. Sarah started to protest, but Josh stopped her as he told her that her son needed to feel useful in fixing things. She nodded silently. Father and son left the remainder of their broken family in shock as they headed west to their fate. As Joshua and his son approached the house of the Feckling family, he was nervous as to what this encounter would mean for him and his family. To Joshua and Jacob's shock, the woman that answered the door was the same woman from their visions.
Pardon my intrusion, madam, but I have traveled all this way to ask your mercy and for you to give my family asylum from this curse. One of our children has broken the platter, which spells certain death for me and mine. Is there any way you can find it in your heart to forgive my family this debt? We are not the ones that stole from you and should not be suffering the punishment for this transgression.
Please, lady, it was an accident. I swear it was.
Which one?
I'm sorry. I don't catch your meaning.
Do you want me to spare your immediate family or the countless other members of your extended family who you know nothing about that will be affected by this curse?
But...
Joshua is stunned as the enormity of his decision begins to sink in.
No one should ever have to make a choice like this.
That day in America, the governor of Wyoming dies suddenly at a soup kitchen. An astronaut on the International Space Station is found dead in his sleeping quarters. A Marine in Tehran chokes to death on a bite of turkey. and a scientist aboard a NOAA ship working on the regenerative abilities of jellyfish dies before she can hit the enter button to save her notes. Thank you for joining me, my Nyctophilliacs. I'll see you soon, and remember to embrace the darkness. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can get the notifications. And if you're feeling especially kind, share this video on social media. Thank you.